Today on Not Another Mindset Show, we are talking about mindset. Big surprise. But no, we are specifically talking about the fixed mindset and how you can identify a fixed mindset in your clients, and also what you may be missing that you should be paying more attention to when it comes to your own mindset as a coach, because your mindset very much so directly impacts the mindset of your clients. And this is something that I think most coaches are missing. And it's not even that I think, it's that I know, because I see it every day in the line of work that I do inside the health mindset coaching certification, helping coaches better understand how to help their clients shift their mindset. So what I want to start with is that you can't change what you don't know needs changing. There's no way possible. Well, you could do it accidentally, I guess, but it's very difficult to change anything if you don't understand what it is you need to change in the first place. And this rings so incredibly true for the coaching that we do with our clients. If you want to help your clients shift their mindset to more of a growth mindset so that they can better stick to the plan and they can believe in themselves and they can get rid of negative self-talk and limiting beliefs, all of that stuff that is so incredibly important in a health and fitness journey, especially when it comes to maintaining these behaviors long-term, maintaining weight loss long-term even, then you gotta know where their fixed mindset is showing up in the first place. You will be hard pressed to shift your client's mindset. And here's the thing, I keep saying this, but the reality is you are not doing the shifting. Your clients should be shifting their own mindset, and they will be making those shifts within themselves based on how you coach them, the questions that you're asking them, the way that you're presenting information, the strategies that you're using with them. That's how mindset coaching works. And I say that in air quotes, mindset coaching, because it's not like nutrition coaching. It's not like writing a training program where you just give them a worksheet or send them something and now their mindset has shifted. It's something that should really be embedded into the framework and the fabric of your coaching and just how you do what you do. So I use the term mindset coaching because that's what everybody uses, but it really isn't the same thing as coaching. It's not how it works. And if you feel like you need to do things to your clients and you need to get them to do things and do things for them, then that is not the most effective way to help them. So that's just like sidebar conversation. So how do we start to identify a fixed mindset in our clients? There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of things. I'm going to give you a short list here. So get out those notepads, not if you're driving, please come back to this later. But how do your clients respond to feedback from you? When you are explaining to them, oh, this is why we maybe didn't see the scale weight move in the last month, because this was happening and this was going on. And I'm kind of seeing that could have been what it is. What do they come back to you and say? Is it, okay, that's interesting. I'm curious to learn more about that. I want to better understand. I see where you're coming from. Or is it no, nothing just ever, this stuff doesn't work for me. This is par for the course. This is what I always see. I knew this wasn't going to work. That might be a little bit more on the extreme fixed mindset side of things, but are they pushing back? Are they leaning in, or are they pushing back to your feedback? That's important. How do they face challenges? How do they navigate setbacks? Obviously, your coaching is a big part of this. And again, we're going to get into that in a little bit more on your mindset, my friend. But when clients are facing challenges, they've had setbacks, how are they responding to that? Is it okay, yeah, this didn't really go as I wanted it to. I'm not feeling super good about it. So what else can we do? What are the other options? Are they seeking more information? Are they seeking to better understand? Do they want to know what else they could try? Or again, fixed mindset would be during those times, they maybe throw their hands up in the air. Maybe they don't check in with you. Maybe they express their frustration and how things don't ever seem to work out for them. That is much more of a fixed mindset. What language are they using in their check-ins, in their conversations with you? I already kind of said some of these already, but if they're using the words, I can't do that, or I've never been able to do that before, this stuff just has never worked. Tracking macros just isn't something that works for me. It could be a fixed mindset about themselves and their own abilities, which is honestly what most of it usually boils down to. Or it could be a fixed mindset about the coaching process or the methods that you're using. Like I mentioned, tracking macros. Are they coming into the coaching relationship or at some point in the coaching relationship saying, yeah, tracking macros doesn't work for me? Or I'm not the type of person to track macros. I've just never been able to get it. I've never been able to understand it. It's never worked for me. I can't make it work for my lifestyle. All of that is fixed mindset language. Of course, that doesn't mean that you have to continue to force them to track macros if they think it's not going to work for them. There are other methods, obviously, that you can use to help them if you're a nutrition coach. But I wouldn't just immediately go to, okay, well, let's try something else, and instead try to unpack it further. And you could say, there's so many other ways we could go about this, and I'm excited to talk to you about other options to see what's going to work best. Like, that's why you're here. This is literally the work. This is the reason you hired me, is so we can figure out something that does work for you, and we will. However, can you tell me a little bit more about your experience with tracking macros, why you feel like it's not something that works for you and your lifestyle? Get to the bottom of it before you immediately just change to another method. Otherwise, you become that coach, and some of you may have been here before, where you're just throwing method and strategy and like, let's change this, let's do that, just to almost appease the client rather than actually figure out what the heck is going on. So that's important. And I have a bonus for you that's not necessarily fixed mindset oriented, though it could be coming from a fixed mindset too. And it's top of mind for me because it was literally in conversation with my students inside the health mindset coaching certification yesterday. One of my students was asking me a question about when her client is so frequently using the word should. I feel like I should be doing this. I think this should be something I include, rather than I want to do this or I have a desire to do this. And she was asking if we should be looking out for clients when they're like, oh, I feel like I should do this, and if that's necessarily a bad thing. And I said that there's likely some more underneath that. And that's where I mentioned, to me, it comes across as they are feeling like there's some sort of external something that is encouraging them to do this behavior, this thing, whatever, but it's not necessarily something that they want to do. They don't have any personal drive in that situation. So even if they feel like they should do it, chances are they're not going to be able to stick with it because it's not something they actually want to do, or they don't see the value behind it, the utility, which is so important. So often I am telling coaches this, that the reason they may not be checking in or the reason they may not be doing these things is because they don't understand why they should be. Like, what's the point? As humans, we are 1000%, this is not a real statistic, 1000% more likely to do something if we are understanding of the reasons why we should do it, of the utility behind it, of how it's going to help us. Because why the heck would you want to do something if you don't feel like it's actually supporting you in the direction that you want to go or the thing that you want to achieve? It makes a lot of sense. So here, when we're hearing, I feel like I should be doing this or I should be doing that, ask more questions about that. Ask, why do you feel like you should be doing that? Where is that coming from? Like, what is the outcome you would be trying to achieve if you were to do that thing? And you will hear a lot more and get a lot more information to better understand where to go next. Because my concern with this is that if clients are saying, I feel like I should be doing this, I feel like I should be doing that, it's coming from extrinsic motivation. There's some sort of thing external to them. They saw it on Instagram. It was on a Pinterest pin. Their coworker was talking about it, whatever. So it's coming from something or someone else. So that's not, even if they decide to do it, it's probably not going to last. So something to pay attention to there is the shoulds. Pay attention to the shoulds. Now, listen up here. If you're multitasking, I need you to come back. I need full attention, because over here in my little corner of the internet and the social media land, we take responsibility. We don't push off responsibility onto our clients if they are self-sabotaging, if they are struggling, if they can't stick to the plan, if they're coming up with excuses, whatever. And it is so easy as coaches to just throw your hands up in the air and say, well, this person just doesn't want it bad enough. This person is just not coachable, and there's nothing that I can do about it. That is really easy, and that is really comfortable, because then you get to say, no, I'm a great coach, and it's this client who is the issue. But then the problem with this, I mean, there's so many problems with this, is your coaching will then adjust to that belief system of you seeing that person as uncoachable, that your hands are tied. It's not a you thing, it's a them thing. And that will show up in your coaching practices. So we don't use uncoachable language around here, okay? Instead, we get curious. We seek to understand. We rise to the challenge that is this coaching situation. This person has this pattern of not sticking to things. They're in it for a week, and then for 3 weeks they're off, and then they're in it, and then they're off again, and they're on the wagon, off the wagon, whatever. We see this stuff, and then we assume it's that person, but we want to seek to understand, like, why is that happening? What is going on here? Become a researcher. Get curious. Figure out what's going on. What strategies can you use? What tools could you try? How can you help this person? In some ways, we want to take on the responsibility. I'm not saying I want you to feel, because I know so many of you already feel this way, feel burdened because you feel so responsible for your client's success. First, I want to remind you that the reason you feel that way is because you care, and that means you're a good coach. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. But again, it's so much more comfortable to try to sidestep those feelings and instead just assume that it's on the client. But we can do so much better than that. And so much of this podcast is about how you can do better than that. So I know you're listening to this because you want to do better than that. So don't get mad at me here. Don't get mad at me here. But how often are you actually checking your own mindset, rather than just being so focused on shifting the mindset of your clients and trying to find the fixed mindset clients and shift them to a growth mindset? How often are you actually checking in on your own mindset? Because if you believe the client is uncoachable or just stuck in their ways and there's nothing you can do about it, then you best believe all you're going to do is make that worse. And I know I'm saying all of this, and it's not always necessarily true. Like, I hate making these big statements, but this is something that so many coaches miss. And if you're sitting in this place of, okay, well, I have this handful of clients, I have these 3 to 4 clients or whatever on your roster who you just feel like you can't get through, and then you're chalking it up to like, okay, well, everyone else is doing fine. And if it's just them, then it must be just them. It must not be me. The problem is what you end up doing then in your coaching practices can, again, make that worse or lead them into a fixed mindset if they weren't even already there yet. And how this can happen, how you can actually end up creating a fixed mindset in your clients without even realizing it. You may be giving those people less detailed check-in responses because you already have kind of written them off. They've been put into this other bucket outside of the rest of your coaching roster. They're in this bucket of this is my small group of clients over here who just can't stick to the plan. They're just annoying me. I don't even know why they're here. They clearly don't care to be here. They don't care to try. So why would you give them more? Because you feel like you're not getting it back from them. And it's the law of reciprocity. If you don't feel like you're getting it from them, why would you give it back? But the problem is those people are the ones who need you the most. And so if you're giving them less detailed check-in responses because you're like, okay, well, she's not going to try, neither am I, then all you're doing is furthering the issue at hand, which is the fixed mindset. Okay, taking a quick break here to talk to you about something I know you want more of: clients. Getting more client applications, making more sales. This stuff feels a lot harder these days. I mean, I used to be able to post a donut on Instagram and get like 20 client applications. What used to work just doesn't seem to work anymore, but that doesn't mean you're out of luck. The one thing I've seen to continue to work over the years with my students, my business mentorship clients, and of course in my own business too, no matter what social media looks like or how the industry is changing, this one thing will never go out of style and will always work. And that one thing is mindset and psychology. This really is the ultimate sales trick, but it's really not a trick at all. Signing more clients and having them stick around with you longer is so much less about sales and marketing and so much more about just understanding how humans make decisions and get motivated to change. You're used to me sharing all the time on the podcast about education around coaching practices, but this mindset and behavior change coaching stuff should start before the coaching relationship even kicks off. One of my most popular and affordable workshop series has recently been totally revamped and upgraded: The Psychology of Signing More Clients. I am super stoked to share with you some of my favorite science-backed strategies for attracting more clients and feeling good when you do it. No icky sales tactics over here. Make sure you check out the show notes to learn more about the psychology of signing more clients. You also might be saving that bucket of clients, or maybe you have a specific client that you just dread because you know what the check-in is going to look like and you're frustrated because you can't get through to them. You save them till the end of your workday, the end of your check-in day. We'll put you last. I'm going to do all my easy clients first. But then you have less time, you have less energy for that person, and then what? Then they're not getting your best coaching abilities. And if they're not getting that and they're feeling you're putting them off, they're going to feel put off, then again, all you're doing is making the problem worse. Why would you prioritize those clients if they're not prioritizing themselves in the coaching relationship? That's how it kind of ends up feeling like a tit for tat thing. And don't look at me. I'm looking at the camera for those of you who are listening. Don't just listen to me and think like, no, that's not me. That couldn't be me. I don't know. I feel like there's a chance that might be happening. And this is where I need you to have a growth mindset and kind of look inward and like, when, maybe not now, but maybe you've done it in the past, and like think about how that coaching relationship ended up. Or something else you could be doing is not responding to those clients in a timely manner, or like holding off a response to them because you're like, oh, here we go again. Like it's the same thing every single time. I don't know how to say this any differently than how I've already said it 100 times. I know you felt this and I get it. You think, if they're not going to try hard, then why am I going to? And I'm just going to leave this. I need to think about it. I'll get back to them later. But again, with you doing that and taking more time than what is necessary to respond to those clients, they may, especially if they have a fixed mindset, may start to internalize like, oh, my coach like sees it too. She knows that I'm also not capable. She knows that I'm not cut out for this. And you're just perpetuating the fixed mindset issue at that point. So the question I have for you, my friends, is, are those clients truly uncoachable, or do you just not have the tools to actually help them? Are they truly uncoachable, or did your coaching actually create that situation? Did your coaching lead them to be less coachable? And I know that is a hard questions to sit with. But if you can, just for a minute, think about what you could be doing differently. I promise you, all it's going to do is make things better. It's going to make you better. It's going to make coaching better. It's going to make your clients stick around longer. If you can get to the core of that and you feel like there might be something there, girl, just wait and watch and see what else you can do inside your coaching practices. Now, listen here. I am not saying it's 100% your responsibility. And I'm not saying that every single client is absolutely 100% coachable. That's not the goal of this episode. Instead, what I am saying is that most coaches are simply not equipped to help clients in these situations. And so thus they are labeled uncoachable. That is the reality of the situation. So this may not resonate with you. This might not be an issue for you, especially if you're a health mindset certified coach and you've gone through my certification, then you likely don't see this as much anymore. But that's really the message that I'm trying to get out here, is that it is very likely that you do have clients who have a fixed mindset. And that is what is holding them back. It's like what's keeping them from seeing more success. And it's also what's keeping you frustrated inside the coaching situation. But I have so many tools and strategies between my free content on the podcast, on Instagram, all the free resources I have for you to help support you in that. And of course, if you want to go all the way and become a health mindset certified coach and become more of an expert in all of this material, then the health mindset coaching certification is for you. You can get started for free, by the way. You don't need to actually enroll in the certification. As soon as you join the waitlist, just to get more information on the certification, you're going to get 5 free lessons in mindset and behavior change coaching to get started right away. So the link for that will be in the show notes. So definitely check that out. So what most coaches miss here, and I feel like I'm kind of keep coming back to this, but I think it's so important, is that just how much your mindset as a coach will impact the mindset of your clients. And you cannot effectively support your clients with their mindset if you don't recognize how your mindset is impacting them. It's so crucial, and it's kind of like behind the scenes, in between the lines. You may not realize you're doing some of this stuff and then you're frustrated with your clients, but the reality is you actually kind of got them in that spot in the first place. And that's not always the case. And a lot of the time, our clients are coming to us on day one with fixed mindsets about things related to weight loss and tracking macros and the scale and food and all of that, for sure. And to be able to have the tools to help them work through that is amazing. And you need to also be monitoring your own mindset. Okay? Okay. That is all I have for you. I hope this was helpful. I hope you don't feel like I was bullying you the whole time. It really is. Kira is my right-hand gal in the business, and she keeps my head on straight and truly keeps the business running. Shout out to her. She's amazing. If you've ever had a chance to interact with her, you know that she is amazing. She says she bullies me a lot in a good way. She uses the phrase bullying for the better. So that, I guess, is what we're going with today. But I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time and attention and your efforts to become a better coach, to make the health and fitness coaching industry better, because Lord, do we need it. We need you. So thank you. And I'll see you next time.